welcome to the Rare Record Room. I've been collecting vinyl for around 40 years now. I was buying records in the late 1970s and during the 80s, through to the 90s and beyond, when records were no longer in vogue and proved rather difficult to find. My collection is mostly guitar-based music from the 50s through to the 90s, covering rock and roll, through rhythm and blues, beat, psychedelia, rock, soul, funk, punk and new wave, pop and Britpop. It comprises around 2,500 records, mostly LPs, although there's a few hundred 7-inch singles, EPs and 12-inch singles. Most original pressings or unusual versions, and my aim in these videos is to show some of the more interesting that I have, or at least the ones I find interesting. If you do too, please feel free to hit the like button and check out my other videos. Thanks for joining me. In today's instalment I'm going to describe and illustrate some of the stereo repressings of the Beatles' second UK long player with the Beatles on the Parlophone black and silver label. These copies were issued from 1969 through to the 1980s, and I've previously covered the early pressings and their text variations on the Parlophone black and yellow labels, issued in both mono and stereo in two separate videos, which you may wish to check out. A brand new Parlophone label design was introduced in 1969, featuring mainly silver print on a black background, and for the first time the appearance of the parent company EMI Records on the label with a boxed logo printed in white, together with 9 thin horizontal lines printed across the label. The rim text on these copies reads "The Gramophone Company Limited" and "Made in Great Britain" at the foot of the label at the 6 o'clock position. I've noticed a subtle typeface variation on some copies, shown here, where the lettering, especially in the track listing, is a fatter and wider type. The copy on the left displays a narrower, more upright typeface. These come with a front laminated flip-back sleeve printed by Garrett & Lofthouse, with a pinched spine end, as shown here, and the patents pending wording. The 69 one-box EMI pressing was issued in stereo only, with the PCS prefix, although the lower flipback retains the earlier 60s settings of the text, listing both the mono and stereo catalogue numbers. I have two copies, one with the small bold stereo text on the white top margin of the front cover, and another without the bold stereo wording. Both of these are the correct flipback covers for this issue. These 1969 one-box LPs are housed in either plain white non-die-cut paper inners or non-die-cut sepia LP advertising inners. This example is valued at £30 in fine state. In the early 1970s there was another change to the label design when a second boxed EMI logo was added to the top of the label at the 12 o'clock position. The printing of the two EMI boxes was reversed so that the background is white and the letters now appear in black. In all other respects, the layout of the two-box label remained the same as the 69 one-box version, retaining the Gramophone Company Limited rim text and the Made in Great Britain notice at the foot. Inner sleeves were again either plain white paper or the sepia LP advertising style, and early 70s covers are the front laminated flipback variety. The next version I'm going to demonstrate is the revised two-box EMI label, which was introduced in the mid-1970s and available in stereo only. These can be identified by the reset rim text, which now reads EMI Records Limited in place of the Gramophone Company Limited, and the Made in Great Britain notice is moved from the 12 o'clock position to around 4 o'clock, as can be seen here. These came in front laminated non-flipback covers, On the front, at the white top margin, the large bold stereo wording is displayed. The inner bag for this pressing is a printed non-die-cut white paper sleeve showing a patent number. These records are valued at £20 for decent copies. Around this time, in 1973 to be precise, some UK copies with this label design were pressed by contract in France by Pathe Marconi, whilst the British EMI plant at Hayes, Middlesex underwent a refurbishment and their record output was heavily reduced. Again, in stereo only, these have a near identical 2-box label with EMI rim text, but feature made in France at the 4 o'clock position. They come in a standard period EMI paper inner and are housed in a regular UK non-flip sleeve, as these were manufactured in Surrey by Garrett and Lofthouse, which was still in full production. These copies are valued at £15. Record production reverted to the UK after the refit and follow the mid-70s design, although the non-flip-back sleeves made in the late 1970s and 80s have a varnished rather than a laminated finish on the front, and most will feature a barcode to the rear panel. These repressings are listed at £15 in mint condition. And that, in a nutshell, describes the 1969 through 1980s UK stereo pressings from EMI Parlophone of the Beatles' second album, With the Beatles. That's your lot for this episode from the Rare Record Room. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did like the video, please make sure you subscribe to the channel to see more and to receive notifications for any new uploads. Thanks for watching. See you next time.